All right, welcome. If you are just tuning in to the replay on YouTube, I am Jim Larson. I am direct to Symmetry Financial Group by way of Jamie Susi and Corey Nienaber, Sarah Reinecke, and Jared Reinecke, Jacob Pogue in the Marshall Wayland hierarchy. I'm an equity partner with Symmetry, thanks to the incomparable Kelly Bush agency. And tonight, guys, we're going to have a conversation about the intangibles of success. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to start up this conversation here. Let me just pull this up and we'll dive right on in. All right. Can y'all see this? Somebody who's live here with me, give me like a nod. All right, I see the Pearsons. Perfect. I'm going to pull up the chat box. See if y'all have questions while we go. All right, we're going to talk about the intangibles of success. Now, let's start with, before we talk about the intangibles of success, what are intangibles anyway? Someone unmute and explain to us what intangibles are as a concept and a thing.
Things that you cannot measure or that you cannot see, that still influence the things going on around you.
Perfect. Yep. Couldn't have said it better. I don't know if Webster's dictionary could have said it better, Joy. Pretty much just nailed it. That's exactly what it is, right? If the word tangible is like, you can actually like touch it, manipulate it, right? Like it's tangible. Intangible is the opposite of that, right? So we often overlook them because they're not right in front of us. So let's talk about the tangible things first. So tangible things are measured as KPIs. KPIs are key performance indicators. Every single one of you should be measuring KPIs. Now, at different levels in business, you have different KPIs that you measure. As your business grows, your key performance indicators change. That's fine and good. What's important is that you're always tracking your key performance indicators. When you are brand new, your key performance indicators are going to be things like lead spend, dials, answers, appointment set, appointments run, app submitted, policies issued, getting that issue rate, money deposited into your account so you can run a P&L. These are going to be key performance indicators. As your agency matures, you're going to start tracking total writers. You're going to start tracking new writers. You're going to start tracking those people who come in and are ready to write, converting to new writers. There are key performance indicators that you're going to track at different levels of business. Lindsay Goodman, what's a P&L? A profit and loss statement. P&L, profit and loss. You're literally looking at money you took in, profit, money that went out, loss. Are you profitable? Like just straight up profitable, okay? Within key performance indicators, and you don't hear a lot of talk on this, there are two flavors of them. There are leading indicators and there are lagging indicators. All right, and so I want to break these apart. Let's talk about leading indicators. These are the activity-based items that bring about the results. These are the items that lead to the results. They're not the results themselves. They're the things leading to the results. So we're talking about things like dials, talk about things like appointments. We're talking about hours in the workroom, lead spend, how many hiring interviews you're running. These are all leading indicators that if you're doing these things, then the results-based lagging indicators are necessarily going to follow. But these are leading indicators. They lead to the results. Think of leading indicators like the canary in the mine. You guys know that canary in the mine? Like the miners bring the canary down there, and if the canary died, it's because the air wasn't good and they needed to get themselves out. The canary in the mine, these are your leading indicators. Your business can look healthy in lagging indicators, but if your leading indicators are bad, it's only a matter of time before your lagging indicators are bad. I want you to hear that. if your leading indicators are bad, it is only a matter of time before your lagging indicators follow suit. The opposite's true. And I've had this conversation with a lot of agents. They're like, man, my business is down. This is down. This is down. And I'm like, stop. You're giving me all your lagging indicators. Talk to me about your leading indicators. Well, we're bringing in new agents. We're doing it. We're all in the workroom. We're excited. Our group me is hopping. Like, we're doing all this stuff. We're dialing. We got accountability. So I'm like, your leading indicators are going great, right? They're like, yes. I'm like, great. Give it 60 days. Your lagging indicators are going to follow. They will always follow your leading indicators. So while I love paying attention to the lagging indicators, I love paying attention to the results, I'm far more interested in the leading indicators because that tells me your trajectory. The lagging indicators give me the snapshot of where you are. The leading indicators tell me where you're headed. They should tell you where you're headed. These are KPIs, hugely important. Lagging indicators are the results of the activity. So these are things like apps submitted, your app count, your APV, new writers. How many new writers are in your team? Total writers. Money in the bank. Money in the bank is a fantastic lagging indicator. It lags behind all the activity you did to get there. So if you're like, hey, I got paid today, that's cool. What are your leading indicators for next week and next month? Are you getting paid next week and next month too? Because what you just got paid was from work you did previously. You already did the leading indicators that led to this. This lagged behind all that. What's lagging behind what you're doing now? Right? There's your canary in the mine. Are your leading indicators taking you in the direction you want to go? Right? This is just not even intangible stuff right now. I'm talking tangibles. I'm giving you the stuff to measure. Lagging indicators is the stuff everyone sees, but only amateurs focus on the lagging indicators. Amateurs focus on the lagging indicators because they understand it's a still photo. They understand it's a snapshot. Leading indicators are the trajectory. I've literally talked to 2 agents with vastly different leading indicators and different lagging, but they were flipped. So I had a lagging indicator where their business looked so good. And the agent down here felt so jealous of them. And I talked to each of them, but this person's lagging indicators, they felt so on their high horse, all their lagging indicators slacked. They got lazy. Their lagging indicator, their leading indicators all slacked. This person was ramping up. I'm like, oh, they're going to switch places. Just watch. They're going to switch places. Sure enough, they did. Amateurs don't focus on the lagging indicators. That's why leaderboards are cool to me. Leaderboards are cool. Leaderboards lag. What's cooler to me is who's in the accountability groups and are they showing up? Who's in the workroom? Who's active in GroupMe? Who's asking me questions? Because you're only asking me questions if you're coming up with questions because you're doing the work. These are leading indicators to me. These are the people who are my next, who are the people that are worth investing in? Y'all, so many people think the people that I see as worth investing in have big lagging indicators. Nah, it ain't it. People that are worth investing in for me are the people with big leading indicators. You can have big lagging indicators. If your leading indicators are falling off a cliff, your business is falling off a cliff. I'm not here to save businesses. I'm here to grow businesses. I'm not here to save businesses. I'm here to grow businesses. Okay? All right, intangibles, the stuff you can't put your finger on, but matter deeply. Let's talk about my boy Carson Wentz. I'm a big Philadelphia Eagles fan. Carson Wentz was drafted 2015, 2016 draft, number 2 overall. We traded up so big to get this dude because his tangibles were like off the charts. The dude's 6'5", 240 pounds, strong arm, athletic dude. He, on paper, his tangibles were like, this guy is the future of our franchise. This guy's gonna freaking win. This guy's gonna be it, man. We signed him to his second contract, signed him to a huge contract, never lived up to it. Last 3-4 years, he's been on a different team every year, getting cut. Now he's just a backup. He should be in his prime right now. And he's had multiple teams give up on him. Why? Fragile ego, often injured, lacks emotional grit. Needs to be surrounded by soft coaches that yes him to death and tell him what he wants to hear, but don't push him hard. Doesn't handle competition with other quarterbacks well. Wants to be handed the job, given the win based on his tangibles. The intangibles weren't there. We invested as a team in the wrong guy. So let's talk about the intangibles of success in this business so we don't miss it. And those of you that are building agencies, I want you to understand these intangibles, these are the things that I'm looking for when I'm hiring new agents. I'm looking for the intangible. I can teach anyone the tangible stuff. I can teach you about dials, running appointments. I can hand you over to Amber for her 12 p.m. call on Tuesdays, and she can teach you all the tangible stuff. All the stuff you got to do. I'm looking for the intangible stuff. I'm looking for the stuff you can't put your finger on. Okay? Don't ask me what a paid up edition is, though. You can ask me what a paid up edition is. I can tell you. All right. Here are 3 intangibles of success in life insurance: a history of winning, ferocious curiosity, environmentally conscious. 3 intangibles that are going to make you successful here. Right out of the gate, before you touch a phone or buy a lead, these are the things that I'm like, that get me excited about somebody. They have a history of winning. They're ferociously curious. They're environmentally conscious. I'm going to explain that last one because I don't necessarily mean that in like a climate change concept. These intangibles. Now, I want you starting to think of yourself in this. I'm going to flesh out each one of these. A history of winning. Why is that important to me? Why is that important to this business? Because the formula for winning never changes. Winning is winning is winning. And that can be winning in business. It can be winning in sports. It can be winning in literally anything. It can be winning in games. Winning is winning. The formula doesn't change. All you do is you change where you invest that spirit. People who win at sports, they know what winning is. They learned they like it. They learn they know how to do it. So good, they're going to take that same spirit here. People who win at games, people who have become excellent at something. I look for winning. Maybe you win at playing the piano. Great. I want to know about it. I want to know about your win. See, winners, people who have a history of winning, they know about the importance of investing first without results. They know they're going to have to put their time in. They're going to have to grind. They're going to have to push. They're going to it's not just money they're investing. They're investing money. They're investing effort. They're investing energy. They're pushing and they're pushing before they've ever scored a W on the card. They have fought themselves to bleeding to figure out how to win. They have lost and lost and lost and invested and invested and invested because they understood that grit is gonna get them where they want to go. Winners understand how to invest first before they get results. People with a history of winning understand the importance of practice. They understand patience. They understand grace. They understand that they might not get it today, but if they just keep coming at it day after day, in 6 months, they'll be unrecognizable to themselves now. Winners understand that. Winners can also be impatient. They can. The winners can be impatient. But they're only impatient after they have a history of winning and they're used to it. And I like it. I like that. But before they got winning, while they were perfecting their craft, they had patience. They also embraced coaching of their blind spots, coaching of their weaknesses. They wanted to get better, and they embraced the voices of the coaches who knew how to help them get better. They embraced those voices, and they know how to do that. They can easily recognize where their deficits are and how and who can help them overcome them. And then they can also recognize who could potentially see their blind spots where they've got deficits they're not aware of. I like people with a history of winning because they speak a winner's language. Ferocious curiosity, always asking, what did you learn? In every obstacle, they don't take obstacles as defeat. They don't take obstacles as getting beat up. They take obstacles as questions. All right, that one hit me. What did I learn here? How can I get better? How can I make sure that doesn't happen again? Who do I know that's overcome this? Who can help me through this? How can I figure this out? Never critical, absolutely non-critical. No blame, just curiosity. Just questions. Innocent, awesome questions at every bend. You know, it's great. I talk to a lot of you guys on the phone all the time. And I can tell agents who are not yet developed in this space because they come critical. They come on the phone because something's not working and they're critical. And I'm like, all right, we're going to have a therapy session first. And then we get to dig in and unpack the curiosity where we can actually explore what you've learned and how to get better. People with a ferocious curiosity, the core elements are not on trial. They recognize the process has already been proven, and so they realize that they are the new variable. Understand that importance. Curious people understand the process is proven and the only variable on trial is them. Non-curious people think they're established and the entire process is what's on trial. The leads are on trial, the CRM is on trial, leadership is on trial, symmetry is on trial, the culture's on trial, everything else is on trial except them. They ain't on trial. They are developed and established. Like, that's cute. Okay, we got a lot of work to do because it's the opposite. The system has proven itself out hundreds and hundreds and thousands of times. The system is proven, okay? The only new variable added to the system is you. So if something's not working, I need to be honest with you. It's not the system, it's you. And a curious person understands that. That's why curiosity is a really, really good intangible, and people who win here often embrace and have a curiosity intangible. All right. Environmentally conscious. This intangible recognizes that there are 3 environments that are vitally important. Now, we've all heard that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. We've heard that, we recognize that, and we understand it's truth, right? If you hang out with people that aren't going anywhere, aren't doing anything, have no ambition, are just rolling the same thing every day, you're gonna feel like a rock star just for making your bed in the morning. Because your social environment, which is one of your environments and the one I'm speaking of, your social environment isn't holding you accountable to be better or want more. They're, in fact, your social environment, which is one of the 3, your social environment is letting you settle for way less than you're capable of. And so you run the risk of never, ever seeing what you're capable of and what you can actually do because you're surrounded by people that make you seem like you're good enough for where you are. Maybe that's true. Maybe you are good enough for where you are. A lot of you are here because you want more. Hard to want more when you're surrounded by a social environment that isn't encouraging you, pushing you, and wanting more for you. See, there are three environments. Association matters. That's the social environment. The people you surround yourself with are going to speak life into you or death into you. They're going to speak ambition and potential into you, or they're going to speak settling into you. They're going to make you want more or make you perfectly content with where you're at. Who you surround yourself with is vitally important. But that's just one of the environments. There are three. That's just your social environment. Consumption matters. This is what I would call your mental, spiritual environment. What are you consuming? What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you reading? You just watching Desperate Housewives and Love is Blind? Just reading smut novels? Is that what you're like? What are you filling your mind with? Are you filling your mind and your heart with things that are reminding you and building up your belief that you can, that you're worth it, that you've got potential? Are you filling your heart with inspiring stories that are like, holy crap, well, if he did this, what could I do? Are you filling your heart and your mind with stuff that makes you want to go get more and realize that you're capable of more? Are you filling yourself with that? Or are you filling yourself with stuff that is mindlessly entertaining? Mindlessly entertaining. Just numbing yourself. Mindless entertainment is just like alcohol. It's just a numbing agent. Just a time-wasting numbing agent. It's reserved for people that don't have purpose or passion in their life. In fact, it's created for people that don't have purpose and passion in their life. So that when they're done from their purposeless and passionless workday, they can collapse on the couch and be mindlessly entertained before they go back and wake up to another purposeless and passionless day. And their cycle can continue, surrounded by people that ask no more of them than they're already given, and an environment that tells them they're totally just good enough. Why go reach your potential when you can stay exactly as you are? I don't know, because maybe there's joy and wiring when we find purpose, when we find passion, when we find something that lights us up. Maybe there's joy and passion in waking up and pursuing potential. Maybe you've got a world changer in your home that doesn't know how to hope for their potential because they've watched you give up on yours. Maybe it has nothing to do with you. Maybe pursuing your potential is about igniting a piece of hope in someone, in one of your children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, neighbors. Maybe someone needs to watch you fight for your potential so they can hope for theirs. Maybe you're responsible for the gifts you've been given and the potential you have. Are you filling your mind and heart with the stuff that speaks to that? Your physical environment matters too. Your physical environment. I don't just mean like you're the room you're in, though I do mean that. The office you work out of. Does that call out the best in you? Is it clean? Is it organized? Is it the place a professional works? The car you get into and drive, is that clean? Is that organized? Is that worthy of the professional that you are? You're like, man, I want so badly to be a 130 at the top of this company making $500,000 a year. Cool. Is the car you drive, do you take care of that the way someone who you want to be like takes care of their vehicle? Is that calling out the best in you? Are the clothes you put on calling out the best in you, or letting you slouch back a little too comfy? People asked me on this call earlier in the chat, where'd my bow tie go? Woke up this morning, put on a vest and a crisp bow tie. Some people texted me, are you speaking on the national call today? No, I didn't get dressed for the national call today. I got dressed for me today. I walked downstairs and my wife was like, whew, you're dressed up. I said, I'll tell you something. I feel good too. Because when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you bring your best. I'm going to show up for a meeting different when I'm dressed sloppy than I am when I'm dressed on purpose. Can I get real for a second? Your physical environment, that's your body too. If you are not happy with yourself in the mirror, you're not going to run a business effectively. I'm being super real right now. You have to take responsibility for that environment too. Because if you're ashamed of yourself, that shame runs deep in everything you do. You can't ever bring the best of yourself. Your environments matter. From the physical environment that you're in, the body you've got, the clothes you wear, the room you're in, the car you drive, that stuff matters. It's either calling out the best in you, calling you to another level, or it's letting you relax and be sloppy, which is going to lead to sloppy work, sloppy client interaction, sloppy organization. The stuff you consume is either going to call out the best in you, build hope, belief, and inspiration, or it's going to let you be fine where you're at. The people that you surround yourself with are either going to call out the best in you and make you want more and push for more and encourage you to go get more, or they're going to let you be comfortable where you're at. See, one of the intangibles of success in life insurance is I love working with people that know their environment matters. They're environmentally conscious. They're conscious of who they spend time with. They're conscious of the environments they put themselves in. They're conscious of what they consume. You know, this even feeds to a couple of the 4 cornerstones of Symmetry's foundational business, that association matters. A relentless pursuit of personal growth. It's 2 of these environments right there. I love working with people that have an environmentally conscious intangible. So you can't put your fingers on that. I can tell you, dial, make 1,000 dials, track your appointments. But you tell me this, if I'm working with someone that has a history of winning, if I'm working with someone that's environmentally conscious, if I'm working with someone that's ferociously curious, if I'm working with someone that has those intangibles and someone that doesn't, who do you think is going to do those things more effectively? This is why I don't just focus on tangible things, because I can tell you what to do. But the person with these intangibles, they're going to show up in a whole different way to do those things. So I get on the call. I can't tell you how many times I'm talking to new agents, not even new agents. I'm talking to prospective agents that are thinking about becoming life insurance agents. And they're always like, hey, you know, how fast can I be making $10,000? I'm like, it's an impossible question to answer. Impossible. Not only because we don't know your ratios in a tangible way, I don't know what intangibles you're bringing to the table. For all I know, you're bringing a history of quitting, you're ferociously critical, and you're environmentally naive. These are the opposite of those intangibles. See, someone with a history of quitting has a history of not finishing what they started. They've got a history of never deciding, always just seeing what happens. Always just showing up when it's comfortable, never deciding that they're going to do the thing. They're always just like, well, while it's convenient, I'm going to do the thing. I am talking to some of you on this call right now. Oh, no, I didn't. I did. I'm talking to some of you on this call right now. You're like, I'm back, I'm here. And then in 3 weeks, you are gone again for, I don't know, 2 more months. And then you're back. And then you're gone. And then you're back. And then you're gone. Okay, cool. You're just not deciding. You're always only here when it fits and it's convenient. And I'm going to just be real with you. You're not going to get where you want to go. You're not. We love you. We'll welcome you. We're always here when you come back. We're here with open arms, but I'm also going to tell you that's not going to get you to your goal. Like, you just have to wrestle with that. You just have to be real with that. People with a history of quitting, they have an impatience toward practice. They don't want to practice. They want to be there. They don't want to treat their first dial sessions as establishing ratios, calling the lead cost in those early days, calling that the cost of education and giving themselves grace and patience. They want a return on that investment now. I just spent $200 on leads. I better sell something. You ain't good enough to sell something yet. You might luck into it. You might get lucky. It happens. Amber and Alex, they're straight professionals in the horse riding world. You don't walk in there your first time and be like, yo, I want to spin around these barrels and I'm jumping 4 feet. They're like, no, you're not doing that in your first week. Like, you're probably going to have someone leading you on a rope walking. Like, it's going to take time. You got to develop this. Well, I paid all this money. I want to be jumping stuff. I just paid you money. What do you mean I got to pay money and just learn? Yeah, you're going to pay money and learn. I don't know what to tell you. But see, people with a history of winning, they don't come to me like that. Those are people with a history of quitting come to me like that. They're impatient. They want it now. I'm like, you ain't got nothing now in your whole life. That's why you've never won anything in your whole life. And you want to come here and you want to take your same not ever won anything attitude here and expect to win. It ain't worked for you everywhere, anywhere else before. It's not going to work here and it ain't going to work now. I feel like I'm coming in really hot. I don't even know that I mean to. This stuff fires me up, man. This stuff fires me up. People with a history of quitting, they listen to their critics over their coaches. They listen to their critics over their coaches. Someone whiny on the phone. Why would you call me on a holiday? And then they come to me, I'm like, hey, keep dialing. Well, they told me, all right, listen to them or me. That's your call. Like, I don't have to tell you. You're going to listen to your critics or your coaches. People with a history of quitting listen to their critics. One family member gets in their ear negatively, blows up their whole business. That family member, though, ask yourself this: would you trade places with them, their lifestyle, the life they're living? I've never been criticized by somebody whose life I envied. Ferociously critical. Man, people who are ferociously critical love to point fingers. I talked about it before. The process is proven, but they're the only new variable, but they think everything in there is broken but them. They're looking for excuses. They're looking at successful people and they're finding what's different between them and successful people. Instead of curiously asking, like, hey, how are we the same? Man, if she can do it, I can do it. Critical people are looking for excuses. Oh, well, she did it because she's got this, this, and this. I don't have that. Well, of course, she did it or he did it because they got this. I don't have that. I mean, if I had what they had, I could. Cool. Do you? You could also find similarities. You could also look at that same person and find things you have in common that are going to make you believe, well, if they did it, you could also do it. But you're too busy looking for excuses to justify the fact that you ain't doing it. And if you spent half as much time asking questions and looking for solutions as you did looking to point fingers, make excuses, and justify your lack of results, you'd get further. Critical people focus on luck. That winners get lucky and they're unlucky. And it's so interesting to me because they got a track record of that. And they'll often talk about how they've just been so unlucky. Always, their whole life has been unlucky. Oh, the market was unlucky with the sale of their house, and this was unlucky, and that was unlucky. No responsibility. Always pointing fingers, always something else. The core elements are always on trial. The system's on trial. The leads are on trial. The CRM's on trial. The leadership's, everything's on trial. It's a hard person to work with. They're environmentally naive. They're not aware that they've got 3 critical environments. They've got poor association. They're hanging out with the wrong people that aren't encouraging them to go get more, aren't encouraging them to go in, aren't encouraging them to better themselves. They're consuming the wrong things. They're numbing their minds with cheap entertainment. They're in an unsupportive environment. They work in a mess. They dress like a mess. Their car's a mess. Everything around them sloppy. How are you going to run an organized, crisp, clean business when you're surrounded by a sloppy physical environment? You can't. You can't. These are the intangibles, guys. You can't put your fingers on these things. And so I want to be able to describe them in really, really real and really clear terms so you can understand what people who win here, how they think, what they do. Because we can talk all day about, well, they made this many dials, but again, the spirit behind that, the intangibles behind the tangible effort, that matters 10 times more. I can win more efficiently with less effort from someone that's got good intangibles. I can fight forever doing 10 times more work with someone who's got the wrong intangibles. Matters. All right, I'm a minute over. I appreciate y'all. We are not going to meet next week. We will not have this Zoom. We will be at conference. If you're not going to go to conference, we will miss you. This call will miss you. You can feel free to use the time missing us to watch a replay or two. All right, let's go kick ass, team. I'm really excited for every single one of you. If we have not talked this week, it's because you haven't tried. I mean that. Yeah, every single one of you should have my number. You should call me. You should text me. I am here for every single one of you, to the point that if we have not spoken this week, it's simply because you haven't tried. I am not going to reach out to you. I assume that you are a grown adult and that you are running your business, and that if you need help, you'll ask me. So if you haven't asked, I assume you're doing great, and I'm probably not going to just randomly check in to see how you're doing. I assume as a grown adult, if you need help, you're going to put your hand up and say, hey, I need some help here. In which case, I am more than happy to jump in. Cool. All right. Have a good night, everybody. This will be up on YouTube tomorrow on the replay. Bye.